We've come back down to the South Lake where the black-headed gull colony behind us is in full swing. The first birds started to lay eggs around about mid-April, and we've also got a pair of Mediterranean gulls mixed in amongst them. And this spring's been a fantastic period for Mediterranean gulls. We've had at least 10 individuals recorded on the site, and brilliantly for those, 3 of them have also had colour rings on, so we've been able to work out exactly where those birds have come from. Bizarrely with the Mediterranean gulls, each bird has come from a different country. We've had 1 bird from Poland, 1 bird from the Netherlands, and the bird that stayed with us here and appears to be breeding is a yellow-ringed bird from Ireland, which even more weirdly is exactly the same place as last year's yellow-ringed bird turned up in the spring. But over on the Wadey Scrape we have birds marked with a different colour ringing system, our BlackTailed Godwits. These birds have got colour rings in a coded system, usually read down the leg, and the birds this year that we've had have come from the Netherlands, Devon, and even a chick that was ringed back in Iceland in 2015. Now these rings look very similar to those colour rings that we fit to our cranes, and it's been a really busy period for our cranes this spring, but those colour rings allow us to work out exactly what's happening with each individual. Across the Great Crane Project we now know that these birds no longer necessarily pair for life, but they do often return to the same breeding sites. But those birds that do disperse from the project have turned up as far away as Essex and Yorkshire. Back here at Slimbridge, our established pairs look as though it's going to be a good breeding season. We've got Wendy and Albert, Monty and Sedge, and here on the South Lake, Bart and Ruby have also started prospecting in the last few weeks. The Holden Tower has been the best place to catch up with our crane activity over the last few weeks, but as the breeding season gets going and the birds start to move around the reserve, you can keep up to date with all the latest sightings on our website and our Twitter.
Hi, I'm Ian Hollister. I'm a volunteer at Slimbridge, and we're currently sat in the kitchen of Sir Peter Scott's house. We're working to turn this into a museum so that visitors to the centre can come and experience the house and see where Sir Peter and Lady Scott lived. So when we've decided on an object that we want to take into the museum, we first of all give it a light cleaning, usually with a brush, to remove any obvious dust and debris. We then carefully examine the object, looking particularly for any writing that might be on it, so as we can try and decide why the object's in the house and if it has any particular connection to Sir Peter or Lady Scott. Once we've done that, we would conduct some further research on the internet, see if we can find any similar objects, so as we can gain a deeper understanding of what we're looking at. And once that's complete, we then photograph the object and upload the photograph into a computer package we call modes, where we would further describe the object. Once that's done, we would mark the object either in pencil if it's a paper object, by sticking a small label to it if it's ceramic, or by using ink over a paraloid base to protect it if the object's glass. So amongst the objects we've accessioned into the museum is this milk jug, which is part of a larger tableware collection which carries paintings painted by Sir Peter Scott himself in 1955 and then retailed as selections of china. Another object that we recently accessioned is this very interesting award which was presented to Lady Scott after Sir Peter's death, marking his long connection with the Lee Yorkie Woodson Art Museum in America. My favourite item that I've accessioned into the museum is this cookbook. You can see from the wear on the book how heavily it's been used over many years. To it has been added a number of family favourite recipes for Christmas cakes and elderflower cordial. And it also contains a collection of 4-leaf clovers, which we've been told by a member of the family Lady Scott collected herself when she was out walking the dog to the north of the site here. The Scott House Museum is being created as part of the HLF Slimbridge 2020 project, and if you'd like to know more about this, please search for Slimbridge 2020 on the internet.
We've been asked a lot recently where our female Magellan goose has gone, so I've come up to the incubation room today to talk a little bit about how we're managing their breeding. The Magellan geese traditionally lay quite early on in the year, towards the middle to the end of March, and as a result their nests are often quite vulnerable, so we aviculturists will often go the extra mile to help interfere for their benefit to help improve their chances of success. Magellans, like all wildfowl, clutch their eggs, which means there's a small period of time from anything 1 to 2 weeks where the eggs are vulnerable to predation. As a result, we've got a huge range of wooden eggs which we can use to substitute the real egg with a fake. This wooden egg is a lovely sized substitute for a Magellan egg, being a tiny little bit smaller than the one she lays herself. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been swapping her real eggs for one of these fake ones, on average every 2 days, and bringing them up safely to the duckery for safekeeping. In addition to keeping the real eggs away from prying eyes, the main benefit of a wooden egg is that we can choose to give the real eggs back to mum and dad if circumstances are favourable. The real eggs have been in our care now for 10 days, safely in this incubator, and we're at that lovely moment now where we're going to be able to show you the candling process. Each egg has an airspace at the top, which slowly grows during the incubation process as a result of evaporation. By putting the candling lamp onto the airspace, it sends light all the way through the egg and it allows us to illuminate the embryo and see the rate of growth. If you would like to see the candling, incubation and rearing process for yourselves, then all you need to do is book onto one of our Spring to Life events. Go online for more details.